Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to today's football match between your Winchester Red and Black and the Lexington. Take the ball first. Number 9 for the Red and Black is their kicker, Kieran Core, and he gets set to kick off. Two return men deep for Lexington. They are ready as we are. And that's the kickoff. Just shy of the end zone, and it's going to be returned by Lexington to the 15-yard line, cutting to the outside.
Mazzarella on the return from Lexington.
He's senior at Lexington High School. And that's where they will get started here on 1st down and 10 from the the Lexington 15-yard line. Just above 80 yards to go for them to score a touchdown. Now, both teams coming off of losses into this game. Winchester's on a 2-game losing streak. Lexington is on a 3-game losing streak. Lexington currently ranks 25th in the MIAA Division I category of football, while Winchester, Division II, 32nd. And there's the aforementioned Lexington quarterback, Mendez Steven. First plays a carry to his running back, who will get stuffed by the Winchester D-line and make it nowhere for a 2nd down and long.
Winchester was all over that. Their defense was anticipating a run right away to start the game, which makes sense. Lexington's had a rough start to begin the year. Got to get a little bit of rhythm going. The easiest way to do that is via run.
Joe Sue on the carry for Lexington. That's going to bring up 2nd down and 9 for the Minutemen.
So that brings up 2nd down and 9 for the Lexington Minutemen. Clock, of course, continuing to run.
Looks like Winchester anticipates a pass here. Short pass.
Mendez Stevens drops back to the right side, and a great defensive pass breakup by Akira.
Mendez Stevens' pass is deflected.
The pass was intended for Ryan Renaro, and the defensive back just ran the route for him. He's lucky that wasn't intercepted, quite frankly.
It's great.
With 3rd down and 9, I feel like when Lexington's not going to be this gutsy this early. I don't expect a deep shot here. I expect something quick, maybe even a run, something that, is reliable and easy for them. Don't get too upset and strained this early in the game. Stick to what works for you.
Mendez Stevens drops back. He's flushed out of the pocket by the defense, and he's going to run for it, and he's tackled out of bounds by Ryan Doucette.
Someone that needs to be acknowledged on that play was Chris Lachard for Winchester, the senior. He absolutely won that defensive line matchup, and he almost had the offensive guard on his back. That's what forced the quarterback out of the pocket to run.
Now on comes John Kefalis to kick for Lexington, the sophomore at Lexington High, number 1.
Looks like Dylan Keogh is back for Winchester to receive.
Alongside, that is Danny Killian, number 45. Interesting to see this. I haven't seen Killian return a kick this season, and I know he's fast. He's on the track team. Punt is up, and it's going to land just short. And it's fair caught. It's muffed, but he's going to fall on it, and Ben Wilson will recover.
Wilson made the smart play there. You've seen a lot of young players, particularly, they're just starting their football careers, try to be Deshaun Jackson, make some magic happen, and try to pick it up and run with it. The smart play is just to jump on it. Don't make anything negative happen. You still have outstanding field position if you're Winchester.
That almost went back.
And you're getting it right at midfield. I don't think they've started any game with this amazing field position.
Oh, yeah, that was a great defensive stop, too.
The other thing with Winchester is when you think of them, they're a run-based team. But we saw in their home opener, they tried to get their quick passing game going. I would expect them to do something similar here. 3 receivers split to his right.
Lowenstein drops back. Deep pass, first play. He's looking for Killian, and it's nearly picked by the quarterback for Lexington himself, now playing cornerback, Mendez-Steven.
This guy does everything. That was really outstanding coverage, and it was not a bad pass by Lowenstein either, but he just, he stayed with him step for step, and once again, lucky it wasn't an interception.
Joseph Sue, number 26 for Lexington, also stepped up, so he was in double coverage. They anticipated the pass to Killian. They saw he was breaking, and they just charged him. Now they got Doucette in the backfield, number 23, their starting running back.
Lexington's anticipating something short.
And it is a short run to Doucette, trying to get a hole in the left side. Wasn't there. Defensive stop made, and that should bring up 3rd down and 6 for the Winchester Red and Black.
If I'm Lexington on defense, Winchester's already shown they're willing to be daring and take a shot early. But are they going to take a shot when you're under pressure? I'm not sure. I'd want to put Winchester to the test, and I'd bring pressure here.
It looks like they're going to stack the line a little, show some pressure. So Lowenstein calls Schlesinger in motion to the left side. Fake run, quick pass, and it's deflected. And it's still caught, but they'll say the pass hit the ground. He tried.
Good effort by Ben Wilson. Got to give the guy some credit.
4th down for the Red and Black.
So both D lines making quick stops early, and Winchester's already out to punt it back to Lexington.
One thing, given it's only been one drive on each team, but one thing that's standing out is this game is going to be won and lost on the lines.
Back deep for Lexington's number 10, that is Jack Mazeral to return. Kieran Core, the punter for Winchester.
Kieran Core, the punt for the Red and Black.
All right, let's see what the former soccer player can do here.
Deep punt inside the red zone, and he's just going to fair catch it at the 14-yard line. So this is going to be similar starting position for Lexington from their first drive. Let's see if they can actually convert a first down this time.
Hey, it's still beginning of the game. It's still first quarter. Everyone's still got their hopes yet. But realistically, if you're Lexington, Mendez, he showed off his talent, and he showed off his athleticism in that first drive. I think they're going to have to rely on the run a little bit just to calm him down. He had one near interception, and he had one near sack. I think you need to calm the quarterback down a little bit and at least start off the drive with some runs.
So an interesting statistic for the Lexington team. They've actually been outscored 104-14 in their 3 games this season. All 14 points came last game against Melrose. Now Mendez-Steven tries a quick run up the middle. Doesn't get anywhere. And one of the touchdowns last week was a running play from Mendez-Steven up the middle that scored a touchdown. So yeah, he has the athleticism potential of like a short distance running quarterback, kind of like Josh Allen in the NFL.
Yeah, I would agree with the comparison, and I think Mendez is extraordinarily talented, but let's put Josh Allen on hold for a little bit here. See what Mendez can do tonight. But that being said, Mendez has looked impressive thus far. Winchester seems a little confused here.
And it was a fake run. They fooled everyone, but not the linebackers in the middle, staying with it. It was Cedric Edwards, number 7.
He may have been fooled initially, but I got to give the captain, Parker Najatal, a lot of credit. I mean, he can burst through the line with a lot of aggression and smash the running back down.
So that brings up another 3rd down and long inside their own 20 for Lexington. Not where you really want to be starting a football game with a bunch of 3rd down and longs. You want to be keeping the ball moving.
I think
keep on getting the first downs.
That makes sense, and I think if you're Winchester, you take a play out of Lexington's playbook. Rush on 3rd and long. Try to set yourself up with good field position again. Looks like Winchester's coaches, at least based on the formation, disagree with my assessment.
3-men rush. Looks like it's going to be some zone coverage. And it's going to be a run to the outside for Mendez-Steven. He has some space, and he's not able to get past the combined tackle of Doucette.
Keeper for Lexington.
And they prevent another first down try. Brings up 4th again.
What this almost reminds me of is, because what I'm seeing out of 2 drives now is the offensive line for Lexington is not holding, and Winchester seems to be getting consistent pressure on Mendez, and Mendez is trying to make it happen himself with his legs. So it's almost Daniel Jones-esque a little bit. So we'll have to see what happens.
Edwards on that last tackle for Winchester.
Of course, Wilson and Killian back again, deep for Winchester to receive this punt. Just above 7.5 to go. Punt is up, and it's just below midfield. He'll let it bounce, and then Killian will return it, trying to run around the right side with a burst of speed to the 40, 35, cuts inside, and he gets all the way down to the 30-yard line. So this is even better field position for Winchester
for the red and black
to go down and score some points.
That was really an outstanding play. I mean, he was dead to rights. He had 3 or 4 Lexington players all over him, and it was just speed. It was just, I want this more than you do, and I'm going to get around the corner and earn it.
Speaking of Deshaun Jackson.
Oh, no.
Winchester's going to start on the Minuteman 29-yard line.
29-yard line. If you're Winchester, I would not get too greedy here. Keep your offense on the field, exploit the running game, keep Lexington frustrated on the sidelines.
And, of course, if you do get 4th down, you got to remember they have one of the better kickers in the league in Kieran Core. So his range he's probably already in range. So they can be a little bit more conservative if they do want to be. Coach changing up the play here real quick. It looks like quarterback right now is not Lowenstein. It's 16. It's Jack Centarelli, who's going to take it for a run up the right side. He has a hole, gets the first down, and he's still going all the way down to the 10-yard line. So I noticed they did this a little bit last time. They occasionally they'll switch out Lowenstein for Centarelli and have him just run the ball. Because of his size, he has that advantage over Lowenstein, who's a bit smaller.
That's very interesting. And the Ravens did something like that years back when they had Joe Flacco and Tyrod Taylor. They'd always bring in Taylor for big running plays. I wonder if they'll ever do something like that in this game where they get the team to expect a run but let Centarelli throw a little bit.
Looks like Centarelli's going to stay out there. So if you're Lexington,
for red and black.
I'd anticipate another quarterback draw. They're going to stack the box here. Looks like they are anticipated for a draw. And it's a running back draw this time, but he's not going to go anywhere. That was
too set on the carry of Lexington.
By forward progress, he'll be down at the 12-yard line, bringing up 2nd down and pretty long.
That was a gang tackle by Lexington, but you got to give particular credit to the linebacker, John Donati.
And now Doucette checking out of the game for Akira.
Winchester really making a lot of substitutions almost every play. You don't see that as often with high school teams. Usually they tend to ride with their guys, so to speak.
Something I didn't mention earlier is that today is senior night, so they're going to try to get some more seniors on the field like Akira to try to make some big plays. Now Centarelli running to the left side, but he's going to be chased by Mendez-Steven again. Mendez-Steven just trying to get himself involved in every play, and that brings up 3rd down and long.
3rd and goal.
He's succeeding, too. I mean, every time Winchester's tried something so far, Mendez has been the guy who's in the way, putting a stop to it.
Not every day you see a quarterback playing cornerback as well. Looks like Lowenstein's still going to stay off the field. It's going to continue to be Centarelli.
I mean, it's almost Seattle-esque, where the key to beating the Legion of Boom Seahawks was just to throw anywhere where Richard Sherman is not. It might be the same scenario here, just throw anywhere Mendez is not.
They're going to shift 2 people to the right side on the line, stack the line, and they're going to run. And it's a fake run, a pass to the back of the end zone, but it's over the head of Ben Wilson. And that'll bring up 4th down.
Ben Wilson is incomplete.
That was actually a very smart play by the quarterback that time. He wanted Wilson, but he was looking at it was one-on-one coverage. Unfortunately for him, the one-on-one coverage was Mendez, and the throw just wasn't open. So he's going to play it safe, throw it away, and take the 3.
I don't think the cornerbacks on Lexington were fooled at all. They were anticipating him to throw, noticing that Wilson was running the route. And this will be about a 34-yard attempt for number 9, Kieran Cord, the kicker for Winchester Red and Black. Holder is Jack Centarelli. And Lexington jumped, and the snap is fumbled, but they're going to blow the play dead and call a penalty on Lexington, which won't bring up the first down. That'll just bring up a closer field goal attempt.
That's actually, we've gone halfway through the first quarter, and we haven't had it's the first penalty of the game. And especially, they're not quite the bitter rivals that Winchester and Woburn are, but it's still a solid rival, so it's impressive to see so few flags thus far through the game.
It's certainly better than last year. This year, Winchester's discipline's been a lot better than last year. Last year, they had plenty of disciplinary issues, plenty of flags being called. So this becomes a 28-yard attempt for Core. Last snap was fumbled. This time it's up, and Core's kick is up, and it's through the uprights. And it's no good. So it pushed right, just barely over the upright. Yep. And now Lexington, score will stay 0-0. Lexington gets to start inside their own 20 once again.
I think the thing is, if you're Lexington, you were fortunate. You escaped without, giving up any points, but this method is not sustainable to keep giving Winchester outstanding field position. Sooner or later, they're going to capitalize and take points. So if you're Lexington, that has to be the priority here. You got to play the field position game. And so far, Winchester's winning it.
Looks like they're just going to move the chains up around the 19-yard line. So what happened on the kick there? What did you see? Because I thought it went in.
It looked like it was going in. I think what happened with Core is he was facing a lot of pressure Lexington brought from his left side. So he was trying to kick it further to the right to avoid said pressure. Unfortunately, he just hooked it a little too much.
Now there's Mendez-Steven with two running backs in the back, and he'll hand off to one of them. Up the left side, there's a hole, and he cuts back to the right side, and he's near the first down marker. Number 26, Joseph Sue, getting the carry, the senior.
Yep. Hey, it's senior night for him, too. Got to keep your seniors on the field for Lexington, too. But regardless, by Sue, that was it was a smart run. He had Winchester players all around, and the thing that gets a lot of running backs stuck is they hesitate and they stop and wonder, what do I do, what do I do? Sue did not make that mistake. He kept his legs moving, and that's why he got so many yards.
That cut to the inside was also impressive. It takes a lot of skill to be able to cut that hard, fool out multiple defenders, and get the extra 4 yards. Sue's going to stay in the backfield for Lexington alongside his quarterback, Mendez-Steven.
As he should. Lexington should feed him.
And it's going to be a run now for Mendez-Steven again on first down. He high steps to the right side, and he gets the first down just around midfield into the Winchester bench area.
I'd like to see Mendez-Stevens. He's done a little bit of everything, but the one thing I haven't seen too much of yet is I haven't seen him air it out all that much.
I wonder if some words were exchanged there on the sideline.
Oh, they definitely were. Mendez-Stevens, again, he's been the guy who's gashed Winchester so far and given them a hard time, so I imagine things might get a little bit chirpy.
I imagine if you're Winchester, they would have probably planned their entire game plan around Mendez-Steven. But it's interesting to see that it's really not worked. He's torching them on the ground, but their pass defense has worked, not gone much in the air. He has two running backs in the back, which is likely going to be another run. It will be to Sue again, but Sue's not going to go anywhere. The entire defensive line swarming him, not allowing him to go anywhere.
The senior Parker absolutely blew up that run, was all over it. Credit to him. Mendez-Stevens is going to have a conversation with his coach now about what they're going to do on second and long. And I think that's the pieces. I think Lexington knows they're going to have to throw at some point. I mean, it's very Ravens-like. Pass only if you absolutely have to, but try running on every single play and cater to your quarterback's talents.
Now, if you're the coach, if you're really confident that he can get 5 or 6 yards on the run here, you still could run. But they have two running backs in the back, so looks like another run. It will be a run, and it's Mendez-Steven again around the outside. Cuts past one defender and gets about 5 yards, but a flag out on the play.
Good block by Lexington's receiver, Jag Mazerall.
The head referee pulling out his flag in the backfield, and it's likely going to be a block on Lexington, a legal block.
Yeah, I would imagine offensive holding. And it looks like that's what's happening as Lexington's players are walking backwards.
And Coach Dembowski for Winchester coming out to talk to the reps about what just happened. And it will be a hold on Lexington. So that will repeat second down, but this time it'll be second down and 20. With just about 3 minutes to go here.
If you're Winchester, I would play against the run here. If it's 3rd and 20, then they have to pass. But here they still have the option. If they have the option, take out the run.
Now you can't put too much pressure on Mendez-Steven because he's been running most of the plays. And, of course, quarterback's going to get tired after running enough plays by himself. They're going to have to take a little bit of pressure on him. This, you would imagine, is a pass. 2nd down and 19. It will be a pass. Mendez-Steven drops back. Didn't have anyone open, and he'll take off on his own up through the right side. He has space, and he's still going past the 1st down marker into Winchester territory. A great run for him, and he already brings up just about 40 yards on rushing in the 1st quarter alone.
It looked like Doucette had him dead to rights on that play as well, but he was just able to escape around the right side.
Really showcasing his athleticism in the first 9 minutes of the game.
Was that enough to move the chains?
Yep.
There you go.
Now, with 3 minutes to go, you got 1st down and 10. I mean, to be honest, if I were Lexington, I'd try to, go for a deep shot here just because you can probably afford the deep shot. With how your offense is going right now, the run's working, why not try a deep shot?
I have a different philosophy. I'd say if it's not broken, don't fix it. Run it again.
Looks like they're going to listen to you and get stuffed.
And,
fumble on the play recovered by Lexington.
Jack Mazerall on the fumble recovery. Smart play.
I didn't even see what happened. Did it get stripped or did it just fall out?
It was punched out.
Oh. Heads up defensive play.
That will bring up 2nd down and 6 for the minute.
Fortunately for Lexington, not only did they recover it, but the fumble fell forwards. They actually gained some yards out of it.
It's a bit ironic, isn't it?
Yeah, it has.
So it looks like, yeah, you were right. They're just going to stick to if it's not broken, we won't fix it.
The only time I would take a shot here is if you have 2nd and short. Beyond that, stick with the run if you're Lexington. Winchester hasn't been able... Winchester's main focus has been to attack the quarterback, but not so much against the run.
Man in motion. It's going to be flipped to him. There's Mazerall up the left side, but he's tackled at the 40, and that'll bring up 3rd down and 4.
Patty Galvin on that tackle for Winchester.
Now, they're just outside of field goal range for their kickers, so it's 1st down or bust here.
I don't know. That seems awful long for field goal range. I think you need to get to at least, especially with where these guys are, I think you need to get at least to the 20 or 25-yard line for a field goal kick here.
Now, they're only going to bring 3 in on pressure, and they're going to play zone back.
That's it. That means they're expecting them to get a shot downfield here.
And Lexington's quarterback wants a timeout. They didn't like something they saw, and they're just going to call a timeout here on this big 3rd down play.
Well, what that tells me is Winchester was absolutely right. Lexington wanted to go deep. They called the correct defense to go against something going deep, and Lexington didn't like what they saw. So make the adjustment. And because here's the thing. Are you trying to go boom or bust and get a touchdown here, or are you just trying to get a 1st down, potentially get into field goal range? I think that if you're a little greedy, yeah, go for it. You got something short near the end of the quarter, get some momentum going your way. But realistically, you only need 3 yards. A short pass is all you need, and I think the quarterback has really benefited off of play action. Almost every single play has either been a run or it's been a RPO.
I mean, they've already run a couple of quarterback draws. One of them even went for 20 yards. So wouldn't all be shocked if they ran another quarterback draw here. Whatever the case is, we'll have to see.
One thing that's interesting tonight, normally the home team is going to be closer to us, close to the fans. I'm surprised Winchester, the home team, has to play from the opposite sideline.
Oh, yeah, that's true. They always play on the near sideline. It could have something to do with senior night, but I doubt it.
I say that might be the case because they wanted to have the seniors walk this way with their families, but I don't know. And it looks like Winchester changes very little defensively, calls a very similar zone defense.
They got 5 on the line this time, though. So they're going to bring the pressure. They see 2 running backs. They know it's going to be run. And someone jumped. Someone went early.
The flag on the
play
flag.
will be blown dead. And it's going to be a false start on Lexington. But 3 people jumped, including the running back. And that's a real bummer for Lexington.
I'm a Winchester fan, but that was a bit of a questionable call. I think both teams jumped. I think Winchester, to be honest with you, jumped, at least from my perspective, it was a little more obvious that Winchester jumped than Lexington. But the ref's got the better view than we do.
This happens a lot. I mean, if one person jumps, other people are going to start jumping.
Third down and 8.
I mean, when you're in the NFL, they even have plays designed to draw people to jump, like hard counting, which you don't see much of in high school.
This is interesting. Only one running back in the backfield. Looks like he's more in for pass protection.
Motion wide receiver. Dropping back is Mendez. Steven, he has a man wide open, and that'll be a first down to Ryan Renaro, the senior. And Lexington able to convert on the big third down play after that critical penalty.
That is good for a Minuteman first down.
Smart read by Mendez. He had a wide open receiver, but he didn't have him open very long. So he had to take his shot, take it right away, or that could have been an easy interception. Well done. There's only just over a minute left to go in the quarter. I wonder if Lexington's going to be content to run out the clock or if they're going to try to take a deep shot into the end zone before the quarter ends.
I mean, with the offense we've seen, it's looking to be a low-scoring game. So, quick pass to the left side was to Mazerall. And Mazerall is only going to get a couple of yards before being tackled. Bring up second down and about 4.
You might see your deep shot here.
I hope. Looks like there's only going to be about one more play in this quarter if they're just going to run it out.
Second down and 6 for the Minutemen.
Second down and short, less than 30 seconds. I would go deep shot here.
They got 3 men on the right side in man coverage. That's a target. The refs are going to blow the play dead. Flag. And it's another false start on Lexington. So that's going to be their third penalty in the first quarter alone.
And I think that's the thing. When the statistic you brought up earlier, they've been outscored, 104-14?
Yep.
When you're outscored that much, it's not just because you played great teams. Maybe that's a part of it. But to a certain extent, you're beating yourself if through 3 games you score 14 points.
Well, those 14 points came in 1 game, too.
Exactly. So you're beating yourself up a little bit through 3 games, and the trend is continuing here. Hoping Winchester is able to take advantage of that a little bit. They're going to let the quarter run out completely.
And that'll end the first quarter at the Knowlton Turf in Winchester, Massachusetts, between Winchester and Lexington.
Neither coach seems to be too upset about that either. I think they're both okay with the game being a little on the low-scoring side because it keeps both teams in until the very end. And let's be honest, a lot of football coaches are very defensive-minded, so this is exactly the game that they want.
Of course, that also applies to the hometown coach of the New England Patriots, the local football team.
The end of the first quarter.
Defensive mastermind, as he's been known for many years.
Yep, and the trend continues where the defense has looked outstanding and the offense needs a little bit of help. And I think that you're seeing that for both teams here tonight. New England spirit. The other thing is one thing we're starting to see is as the night becomes a little bit dimmer, the Friday night lights are starting to get a little brighter, both figuratively and literally. So, the pressure's on, but also you might have bright lights in your face depending on where you are. So that could become an issue for some of these deep shots.
So far, neither of the teams been successful at their passing game. It's been all run. The deep shots that have been attempted, longest pass we've seen is just about 15 yards. So nobody's really trying deep shots except for that one play earlier in the game by Winchester.
And that was the first play of the game, too.
Over the last year and this year, Winchester's become known for occasionally trying new trick plays that you'll literally only see of them once in a season.
Well, I think that also does 2 things. Number one, it excites your players a little bit. I mean, everyone wants to go out there and run the Philly special and have a trick play up their sleeve. So it keeps the players excited, but also it kind of throws the opposing defense for a little bit of a tailspin of, wait, what was that? Can we get something like that again? Do I have to game plan for that?
Here's Mendez Steven back. He's going to run to the right side. Winchester's anticipating him, and he's not going to gain any yardage. Tackle made on the play by Patty Galvin.
And they're stepping on the carry.
It's been so important on defense this year. Over his last couple of weeks, making many tackles.
The thing that stands out there with Patty Galvin, yes, the great tackle, but also excellent instinct. The quarterback had multiple options. He could have handed it off, kept it himself, could have done one way. And he's very agile, and Patty Galvin read him completely and was able to take him out for actually a loss.
So that brings up second down and long for Lexington. Excuse me, that brings up third down.
That's third and long.
So they don't get the first down here. They're likely going to punt it. Receiver in motion, that's Paul Agresta. Mendez-Stevens steps back. He's got a receiver, and it's nearly intercepted and then nearly caught. Kevin Sencion, number 2 on the coverage. He undercut the route. He went for the pick. He dropped it. And it was nearly caught by Russell Lebert of Lexington.
One thing I'm wondering a little bit, it doesn't look like it, and I can't feel it from up here. I wonder if maybe you might just have a little bit of rain, maybe a little bit of weather playing against you a little bit. It does seem to be a little bit foggy here.
Of course, this is the last home game here at the Knowlton Turf until the November Thanksgiving game between Winchester and Woburn. The turf being shut down for some renovations where they are going to replace the field. So you really won't be seeing much of WinCam for the next month at this football field.
Are they going for it here?
They are. Mendez-Stevens steps back. He has a receiver near the first down line, but they'll say incomplete and that he stepped out of bounds. So that'll turn over the possession on downs, and Winchester will get back to offense.
One thing that's becoming more and more clear is that Mendez, while he can pass to his right, he seems to prefer passing to his left, which is unusual. I can't tell if that's a preference of his throwing style. He just likes the matchups consistently that Winchester's giving him on the left side.
Now, if you're Lexington head coach Shane Wilson, I don't understand. Why would you go for it there? Because they have decent field position now.
Well, the other thing there is Winchester's they're guarding the sticks. They're guarding the yard line. So if you are going to go for it, then take the deep shot into the end zone. You're going for broke anyway.
They tried to go right around the first down marker.
The other thing is there's no good calls for 4th and 11.
Yeah, I just don't think that's a smart call. Now Lowenstein will drop back for Winchester. A deep shot. He's Schlesinger wide open up the middle. Lexington's coverage broke, and Schlesinger capitalizes on a deep shot about 30 yards, and Winchester now has the ball at the 41-yard line of the Lexington Minutemen.
Good route running on that play, and also give him credit. He took a shot from Declan Gruskin on that play, holds onto it, and keeps himself in the game. Well done.
Looks like Mendez-Stevens was in coverage, but he got blown past by Schlesinger.
It was a 27-yard reception for Winchester.
Now Mendez-Stevens will be in coverage against Wilson on the left side.
Either a run or go to Schlesinger.
And it will be a run, but he's devoured by the offensive line. It was 52, Mateo Gentile, the captain for Winchester. Lexington.
That's going to bring up second down.
I wouldn't be afraid of that if you're Winchester. Okay, they got you on one run. That's okay. Do it again.
I think he got past the center there, and he had a great shot at the running back. It was uncontested.
Yeah, Ryan Rosario was just beat on that particular play. And it looks like they're going to keep Mendez on Wilson, so he seems to be the receiver that they fear the most.
Has been their number 1 receiver for the last 2 years. Of course, there's that connection between Lowenstein and Wilson being longtime friends. And he's not going to snap it. He's going to look on the sideline, and Winchester will call a timeout to prevent a delay of game.
One thing I'm noticing that's very interesting, a lot of times if the quarterback is right-handed, they're going to prefer to throw to their right side, right? So what they're doing with Wilson knowing that Mendez is on him, they're just putting Wilson out to the left side, and he's far out to the left, keeping Mendez away from the play. So if that's by the play design to try and get Schlesinger and some of the other wideouts open on the right side, I think it's very smart play design by Winchester.
You see that sometimes. Teams will go hard into defending another team's number 1 target where unknown receivers, like little-known receivers, on the other side will be wide open and they'll have easy touchdowns.
And if that keeps up, a guy like a Will Schlesinger has the potential for a very big game out here tonight.
Now it's second down and long. So if you're Winchester here, your run game's been all right, your passing game's getting okay. I'd say you try to run, try to get some yards back before the third down.
I agree. And here's the other thing is, okay, if you're going at, Mendez, he's proven to be very, very athletic and speedy, but does he want to take on a running back head on, play after play that's 50 pounds heavier than him? I would run straight at him.
The lineup on the outside, anticipating Wilson to line
second
up on
down
the
and
left.
13 for the red and black.
Now I wonder, could you bring Jack Senarelli back in here for one of those runs instead of Lowenstein, like they did earlier?
Might not be a bad idea.
And it'll be a handoff to Doucette. They'll only get 2 yards, and that'll bring up 3rd down and 11. What do you think the area is for field goal range? How far do they have to go?
With Kieran Core, I would say if you get to the 20, I think 25 is a little risky, but I think if you can get to the 20-yard line, then you're in good range for Kieran Core.
They did try that 29-yard field goal earlier that was pulled right.
But here's the thing. Yes, it was pulled right, but he showed that he had the range. He's not going to pull right all the time.
And it's going to be a quick slant to the right side looking for Wilson, who lined up on the other side this time. He'll get to about the 34-yard line, and let's see what they do here. On 4th down and short.
Lowenstein's pass to Ben Wilson.
The offense staying out on the field for the moment. Looks like they're going to go for it on 4th and short.
That was an interesting call there. Convention says go long. Mendez defended long. They went short. That's why the route was open.
And we'll see. There seems to be some sort of confusion on the sideline.
Zone defense.
But it looks like they're bringing some pressure. They got 5 men stacked up on the line. Doucette will go in motion. They go, and he's being rushed. There's a man wide open, but he's just overthrown. Wilson had it. Lexington sent the pressure, but Lowenstein just overthrows him as he had pressure in the face. There's at least 3 people rushing him.
That was very interesting. They called a zone blitz, which for high school is exceptionally rare. But they called the zone blitz, and it did not work. Winchester had the play open. Wilson had his man beat, just couldn't connect.
Now, we were talking about field goal kicking ranges. Last game at home, Winchester played Waltham, and Kieran actually attempted a 53-yard field goal, which he nearly made, had the distance, just pulled left.
Well, one thing that's going for the kickers, there's almost no wind out here tonight.
Now run up the right side. It's going to be stuffed. Joseph Sue once again.
Joseph Sue on the carry for Lexington.
He may have gotten brought down, but that was a hard, aggressive run, running right at him. I mean, he knocked 1 or 2 Winchester defenders straight out of his way. That's the type of running that could keep Lexington in this game.
I mean, it's pretty easy for him.
Second down and 2 for the man.
210. He's built for the running game.
That is true.
Now, this is one common issue that Winchester's seen over the past couple of years. They've been outmatched physically against their opponents who've been much larger than him. Well, larger than them size-wise. Mendez Stevens kind of bobbled the snap, but he recovers, and it's a run up the left side. Cutting again to the outside, down near the 38-yard line, was once again Sue.
2 on the carry for Lexington, and that is good for a Minuteman first down.
He'll get all the way to the 39-yard line and into Winchester territory.
On that saving tackle for Winchester.
Nice job by Kevin Senian on that play. That looked like he was gone to the end zone. Senian chased him down from behind and saved the touchdown.
Not only does he have the strength, he also has the agility to be able to cut to the outside multiple times and fake some players. Now Lexington's hurrying it up a little, trying to catch Winchester off guard. They seem to be in some sort of confusion.
Winchester showing pressure here.
And the snap is fumbled. There's 3 people chasing Mendez Stevens. He somehow escapes the pressure to the left side, but it'll still be a loss of 5 yards.
Mendez stepping on the carry.
That could have been a lot worse.
That could have been a lot worse. That's the 2nd or 3rd bad snap we've seen on Lexington's side, and they're lucky Mendez was able to save it from being a turnover or something worse.
About 18 for Minuteman.
So that pushes them all the way back to the Winchester 46-yard line, making it 2nd down and 16.
The running game has worked, though. I would keep it going. Even on 2nd and long, I'd give it a Sue again.
But if you don't get any yardage, you only have one option left, and that's the deep pass. Now Mendez Stevens trying to cancel a play with his coach. He's telling the coach to kill the play, and they're going to call a timeout. So he's arguing with the coach a bit.
Is that the 2nd or 3rd timeout they've had to use in this half?
That's the 2nd. It's always because someone's disagreeing with the play call. So,
well, that's something I do respect in a quarterback. I want someone who says, no, this play call's not going to work. You be your own man and stand up for yourself. That's a good thing. The problem is, if your entire team can't be on the same page and it's a recurring theme, well, that could lead to some confusion and some trouble down the road.
And of course, if you waste all your timeouts now before near the end of the half, you won't have any for any sort of 2-minute drill trying to get some quick yardage near the end of the half.
Well, and that's one thing I've seen is neither team, and given it hasn't been 2 minutes yet, but I would expect at some point both of these teams have played the very slow, feel each other out, light jab kind of game. Neither of them have really tried to put the pressure on and go at a quick pace. I would imagine a little bit earlier, neither of these teams may want to go into their 2-minute drill.
Any sort of big play that happens now, it's a stalemate, so if any big play does happen, momentum's going to shift real quick to that team that gets the big play.
I think the other thing that's coming out of this is turning out to be, I wouldn't say a defensive game, but it's a game of which offense is going to make a mistake and make a mistake first. So I think they're both trying to play it safe and let the other team make their mistakes. I mean, combined through 1 month, both these teams have a combined total of 1 win.
Now Mendez Stevens going to have his favorite running back, Joseph Sue, in the backfield with him once again. He'll fake the handoff, drops back. He has a man on one-on-one coverage on the left side, and flag's going to come late. Sencion with the coverage on Russell LeBert. There was a slight push-off, and it could be defensive pass interference here.
What's more surprising about that is he had a wide receiver, Paul Agresta, wide open the entire route.
I was going to say that, up the middle. No one was covering Agresta. He chose to go for the deep shot one-on-one on the left side, which is a bit riskier. But, I mean, he didn't even need to push off of him there. The ball was overthrown.
I think he just got scared. He didn't see where the ball was. He figured he might be giving up a touchdown. He figured it's easier just to give up the penalty instead.
And looks like it'll be just about a 15-yard penalty that'll bring up 2nd down and short. Center for Lexington's already ready while the rest of the team.
Come on, guys. Can we get going?
That's not something you see.
The center should be the captain more often. We love the centers.
Now 2nd down and short, looking to the right side. Looks like he had an option for a second. He chooses to run, and he gets the 1st down at about the 26-yard line.
31 for Winchester. Elias Karoflis was not having it. As soon as he got there, it was Mendez, get out of bounds. Enough of this.
Now, Mendez Steven was looking at Agresta again. Agresta running a crossing route. He was holding the ball. He looked like he wanted to throw, but he chose to run the safe option. And that's, again, one of those plays you said, 2nd down and short. Why not take a deep shot?
He wanted it. It wasn't there. And now here's the other thing. There's about a little over 5 minutes left in the half. If you're Lexington, I don't want Winchester touching the ball until there's 2 minutes left. Ideally, you don't let them touch it at all, but I don't think with this field position you can hold on to it that long. I think you can keep it away from them until 2 minutes.
Now, there seems to be some sort of confusion on the left side. There's 2 against 3. And if that is zone, there's a man wide open. And it's overthrown to the wide open receiver.
It was pass is incomplete.
Jack Mazerall again, but this time he's the one that's wide open.
Kevin Simeon got lucky. I mean, I think more so that actually wasn't Simeon's guy. I think Simeon stuck with one guy. The quarterback saw the open man, and Simeon just ran his tail off to try and get close.
It looked like it was zone coverage. They had 2 people in that zone, and Schlesinger was supposed to drop back as the safety. But some sort of miscommunication. Schlesinger went to the other side of the field, which is why they had Mazerall wide open.
He may have been looked off by the quarterback, because they had deep shots going both ways.
Now he drops back again.
They're running a similar play, deep shots on both sides.
And it's undercut!
Oh, caught!
And it's caught! It was tipped. It was just over the head of the cornerback. And they get the 1st down, caught by Russell LeBert. Similar to that earlier play where LeBert had a chance to catch a tipped ball. This time he does catch it, and that brings up 1st down and goal at the 10-yard line.
Corner's got to be kicking himself on that play. He not only did he have an interception, he had a touchdown.
He jumped a bit early and was barely able to get a hand on it. That's why it ended up in Lexington's hands again.
Yeah. Lexington's very fortunate, and here's the thing. They're going to stick, looks like they're showing pass. They like this two wideout set on each side.
Rolling to his right. He had a man open again. It was Mazerall, but Mazerall passed just past him, just in front. Brings up second down and goal.
What I'm noticing consistently for Lexington is every single pass the quarterback is making, it's an option pass, it's a run option, so he's throwing on the run. And when you throw on the run, more often than not, your throw is going to be inaccurate because you're throwing with motion, you're throwing across your body. Let your quarterback stay in the pocket, give him a chance to read the defense, and just be a pocket passer once in a while. It's going to make it much easier on him to read what he has to do and do it effectively.
Now, I think they really should have just stuck with the run here. It's been working all game. Why not just with 10 yards to go? And they will run it up the middle this time, but he's not going to go anywhere. Down at around the 8-yard line. That brings up third down here for the Minutemen.
What's interesting with, the heavy passes at this point, they're not eating a whole lot of clock. Winchester won't have to use their 2-minute drill, and they'll have time to work with, even if Lexington does score.
Please remember at halftime we're going to try
now
to help
third down and
cancer.
8 here.
Any type of donation
so a run is almost out of question unless you're looking that this is 4-down territory. The run is almost out of question.
I disagree. This is a defensive game, and with a defensive game, points are going to be at a premium. I'd use the run and take the 3.
We'll see if that holds true. So many of these games in high school are much different half to half. The snap is missed once again, and he's going to have to try to recover from the play. He has space on the right side. He's going. He goes to the 10, cuts inside, into the end zone. That is a touchdown for the Lexington Minutemen. What a play by Mendez-Steven.
Not only what a great play by Mendez-Steven, outstanding blocking by the receivers on that play. They realized their quarterback was in trouble. Get your block on your guy, knock a few guys down, and clear a path for the quarterback. Very well done. Only problem is Mendez-Steven seems to be limping a little bit coming off the field.
He took a shot at the end when he was diving for the end zone. Now that's something you'd see in the NFL with someone like Kyler Murray, just going on those crazy scrambles. He dropped back to around the 25-yard line after the snap. The play was as good as over, and he just recovers.
I wouldn't say that. I mean, Mendez is above 6 feet. You can't compare him to Kyler Murray.
What a shot. Kick is up, and it's good, and that makes it 7-0 Lexington.
7-0 Lexington. If you're Winchester, just under 4 minutes. You don't have to rush. You have plenty of time to go down and even up the score. But I think the biggest priority, Lexington, whether it's a fluke or not, they just found an answer for you. And I would not give them an opportunity to touch the ball again while they have something going their way.
Now, if Winchester does do anything offensively here, they start the next half with the ball, so they can try to use momentum off of gaining some sort of score here.
Do they start with the ball? I thought the first play of the game was a deep shot by Winchester.
No, Lexington started with the ball.
They did? Okay.
Yep, there was that quick 3 and out.
That's right. Okay.
And, of course, they also have the 2 timeouts left for this 4-minute scenario. See how far the kickoff is to see where they start with the ball.
You can see Kieran Core warming up on the other side, getting ready for a potential kick going into half.
I don't think we've actually seen Lexington kick it off yet, have we? We haven't seen much of their kicking unit. Speaking
of kicking, I'd just like to remind everyone, Lexington has not made a field goal this season. So that's not the game that they want to play.
Now, they'll get set to kick off. Back deep for Winchester, of course, Ben Wilson, always there. Alongside him, number 16, Jackson Arelli. Excuse me, that's 15. That's Dylan Keogh. And the kicker for Lexington is 59, Jake Trexler. The kick is deep on the right side near the 10-yard line, caught by Wilson. He'll run up the middle looking for some blocks, and a flag flies, and he'll get all the way down to the 35-yard line.
Wilson on the return. There's a flag on the play.
That was a little bit of a cheap shot by Winchester, number 33, Alex Mills. He's lucky he wasn't flagged for that.
Well, he might have been. There was a flag.
No, the flag came in before the cheap shot.
Oh.
But the other thing that I thought was interesting, number 1, outstanding kick and a smart kick. The whole point of that play was to kick the ball away from Ben Wilson. Don't let them do anything. It just so happened that Wilson was right near the edge, didn't quite go out of bounds, so he was able to secure it and then actually make some magic happen with it. So
sideline warning.
Smart intention, but didn't quite work.
So we didn't see what the penalty was.
They said something against the sideline.
A sideline warning. It looks like it's going to be on Lexington. They're looking at number 56 on the sideline. They said he was too close to the field and that he has to step back.
I've never seen that penalty called before.
Mike Tomlin?
That doesn't count. They didn't call it penalty. They just said that's fine.
Now they got 4 receivers on the outside. Lexington coach is screaming at them something to move back. Lowenstein will take the run himself up the middle, get about 5 yards. Clock goes.
Took a shot on that play by William Everett, number 84, the tight end middle linebacker for Lexington.
That's going to bring up second down and 5.
And it looks like it was actually Centerelli. I mistook his number, 16, Jack Centerelli, who they have brought out a couple of times for that run-specific plays. He's taken about 1 passing shot.
Lexington's confused here. A number of substitutions trying to communicate with the sideline.
If I'm Lexington, I call a timeout here. You don't want this type of confusion. And a pass up the middle is nearly intercepted. What happened? It hit the ground.
I'm sorry.
That was Centerelli's pass. That's actually something you were suggesting earlier, letting Centerelli come into the game and throw the ball. But that was thrown right to the defensive lineman. He got away with one.
Now, I'm really confused because I didn't see anyone in that area. I don't know who he was passing to.
I think what happened on that play, he was throwing to the inside. He was expecting an inside crossing route. The receiver understood it differently and ran the outside crosser.
Happens sometimes when your starting quarterback isn't the one out there. Now they're going to have no running backs back, so this is surely a passing play. 3rd down and 5.
Not necessarily. It's Centerelli.
Lexington's going to stack the box. They got Wilson in motion. Or that's Akira, actually. He fakes and he breaks a tackle up the right side. 3 flags fly.
A multiple
gets
flags
all the way
play.
Down to the 47-yard line, but
we'll see
what
on
the
that
call
last
is.
carry. That was good for a first down.
Unfortunately, the Winchester players are moving back. Face mask.
Face mask on Lexington.
Face masking against Lexington.
So the ball will be moved forward. That is a first down, just under 3 minutes to go.
That was interesting. Winchester had the look of, uh-oh, we're in trouble. This is on us. Oh, wait, it's not? Okay, we'll take it.
Now, if you're Lexington, this has been a common theme. They keep on taking penalties. They got to stay a bit more disciplined. Stop taking these unnecessary penalties, especially something like a face mask. You don't need to be grabbing their face mask.
Well, and the other thing in terms of grabbing the face mask, it was an easy play to read. There's no running backs back there. It's Centerelli, who almost just threw an interception. I mean, everyone in the stadium knew it was going to be a run by Centerelli.
Now, we'll see if they keep him out there. They do keep him out there.
I might be interested if you keep both quarterbacks out there and keep them both in the back, see what happens.
That's not something I've ever seen before. They switched their running back to Akira from Doucette, so both running back and quarterback being swapped.
Lexington's coaches seem to be upset about the formation.
Akira now keeping the ball up the right side. He has the first down around the marker at the 24-yard line. Clock runs at around 2:20.
Tackled by the senior Russell Labert, who he was close to saving a touchdown there because he had the edge.
A run for that last play. It's good for 9 yards.
I mean, they might as well keep on running after these last few running plays.
Exactly, and again, I think even bigger, you're eating clock. I think this is great if you're Winchester.
With their field position right now, even if they do continue running, Lexington might have a little bit of time left.
Mendez isn't paying attention. Snap it now.
Lexington's still confused. Centerelli will drop back. Pressure coming into his face, and he just throws it away. Out of bounds, bringing up 3rd down and short. Now, the coaches are trying to ask for intentional grounding here, but it looked like he got out of the pocket.
He was definitely out of the pocket. The thing is, Lexington was asking for intentional grounding. Winchester was asking for roughing the passer. You could see the coaches complaining because he took a shot after the play.
But I think maybe they consider him a runner.
The
maybe because he was kind of running forward, they considered him a runner.
That's true, but once the ball's out of his hands, that doesn't matter. The ball's gone. You have no reason to hit him.
Now, Centerelli and Akira back in the backfield, 3rd down and short. They're going to run a shotgun play. Not something you'd normally see on 3rd down and short. Now Centerelli's going to go up close. Looks like he's going to go for the QB sneak. He has the first down, and clock will run at 1:49.
First down, Winchester.
They might just keep Centerelli in there the rest of this half.
I mean, it's working.
Exactly.
They're playing the exact same game Lexington's playing. Going for the options, having the quarterback run. It's working.
Yeah, it's true. And here's the interesting part. This is what Lexington goes against in practice every day. You would think if there's one thing they know how to counter, it's this exact play style.
Their defense is confused once again. They're just shifting around. They don't know who's supposed to be where. This drive is going bad for the Lexington defense. Now in motion is Centerelli.
Wobbly pass by Centerelli. Smart play by the receiver just to take the short gain and go down, let the clock continue to tick.
Now Lowenstein's not coming anywhere near. Oh, and right as I say that, they call a timeout and Lowenstein will join the huddle again.
Jack Costello on that last catch for Winchester.
Pass was caught by Jack Costello, who made the smart play, as I said.
So they still have one timeout, so that shouldn't be an issue. If the clock does run down too much, you have the ball, call the timeout, go for the field goal. The 2nd down and 7, what do you do here?
2nd down and 7, run. The run has worked for you. Keep running. If you're Centerelli, my big thing is, again, Mendez has done everything tonight except take a run head on. A lot of corners are scared to do that, especially if he's your quarterback and he knows he needs to stay healthy. Put him to the test. Run straight at him.
Now, what's interesting is, I think it's pretty obvious now that whenever Centerelli is the quarterback, they're going for more run options. And they can just switch him out with Lowenstein at any point, and you know they're going for the pass.
They're going to keep Centerelli in. Looks like it's Akira staying with him in the backfield. 2 wide receivers each side. Schlesinger's got an option for a deep shot here.
He's looking at Schlesinger, and he has him, but it's underthrown. He made the adjustment, but they're going to say the ball hit the turf. Schlesinger trying to argue that he caught it. Refs having none of it, and that'll bring up 3rd down and 7.
He had the seam wide open. That was a touchdown. I think he underthrew it because he did see that there was a defender coming from the other side that was going to pop Schlesinger, trying to protect him a little bit, but in doing so, he underthrew the pass for an incompletion.
He still tried. He slid for it. Refs ruling it incomplete, saying it hit the turf. It'd be interesting if they brought like video review to high school games to see.
I would love to see it. I'd like you and I to go in the booth.
Way too much money for the MIA.
Looks like a very similar play design by both teams, so Lexington's going to call a defense.
Finally, Lexington calls the defensive timeout after a
Please don't forget.
Well, that was the weird thing for Lexington. I don't blame Winchester because they had that play. They had that play wide open. They had the seam. They just weren't able to connect. So Winchester said, we had it. Let's go right to it. If you're Lexington, you came dangerously close to giving up a touchdown, so why would you call that exact same defense again? Doesn't make a lot of sense to me from Lexington's coaching staff.
Well, to be fair, their entire defense has been like disheveled this entire drive. Almost every play, you see them scrambling around trying to get to their position, trying to figure out where they're supposed to be playing. Winchester unable to take advantage of it, coming onto this 3rd down and long. Just above a minute to go.
But again, if you're Winchester, I would not be afraid of a field goal. Realistically, this could be a 9-7 type of game.
Of course, if you're a fan, you don't want to see that. But.
No, I don't want to see that as a fan, but as a fan, I want my team to win. If that's how I win, that's fine. It's a zone defense. You got Schlesinger out on Mendez.
I'm expecting a fade on the left side. Looks like in a one-on-one they would do that. Oh, they just go a handoff to Akira on the left side. He has a slight hold down to the 6-yard line, and he gets the 1st down. Big play from Akira, but there's a flag, and it's going to be on Winchester. That'll bring this back.
Declan Gruskin had the tackle that saved the touchdown. What's the penalty on Winchester? Probably holding.
Yeah, I'd imagine it is holding, and they're walking back. The referee pointed at Winchester. They're trying to sort it out here. Let's see what the head ref says. And he is going to say holding on Winchester. So that'll bring up 3rd down and 17. Now, more importantly, are you out of field goal range?
No, you are not out of field goal range. Yes, it's questionable. It might be a tough kick. But if you're Winchester, you got to trust your best player. You got to trust all your players, but in particular, you got to trust your best players. And one of your best players is your kicker, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. The early Patriots won when one of their best players was their kicker.
Who doesn't love Adam Vinatieri in New England?
Yeah, exactly.
Centerelli's going to stay at quarterback, even if this is going to be a pass. And the holding penalty was 5 yards, excuse me. It's going to roll to the right side.
Here they
looking
come.
For a receiver. Throws it short, just underneath Keogh. And we'll see what they do here in 4th and 13. Looks like Lowenstein's getting warmed up on the sideline.
That was an interesting call by Winchester. It's 3rd and long. Everyone knows you have to pass. Well, if you have to pass, just put Lowenstein back in the game.
They anticipated the blitz, so they had everyone roll right. And they're going to go for it here on 4th and 13, which...
If you're going for it here, there has to be a shot into the end zone. I mean, you may as well just get in Hail Mary formation. The problem is a lot of Winchester's receivers, they could probably jump up and make it work, but they're not all super tall, so you're not exactly set up to be a Hail Mary type team.
Now, they're having a big discussion on the sideline to see what it is. They might call a timeout here and try to rethink the play call.
Looks like they brought Lowenstein back in.
And they will call a timeout, and we'll see what they do here. Now, this is an interesting decision because you don't see the kicker warming up, so it means likely they are going for it.
They're absolutely going to go for it, and at this point, you can't be gunning just for... I mean, if you get the first down, that's great, but then you got about 30 seconds to think about how you're getting a touchdown. And if you were just going to take the 3, why not take it here?
Oh, and that's true, yeah, they just burned their last timeout, so they don't have any timeouts for if they do just get the first down, not into the end zone.
So it's going to be a shot into the end zone. What I would imagine is you're going to try to put 3 receivers to one side, put your best player the opposite side one-on-one, and then see what matchup you like best. Ideally, you try to get a one-on-one that is not against Mendez.
Now, we'll see who they line up in quarterback. This entire drive has been Santarelli, but of course, their passing quarterback is Ben Lowenstein. And Lowenstein's hobbling off the field, so it's going to be Santarelli on 4th and 13 to take the call. We'll see what they draw up here. Now, we were talking about trick plays earlier. Could this be the chance for a trick play?
Not on 4th and 13.
That would be the definition of getting too cute.
I would agree completely. You can't... Again, there's no real good calls on 4th and 13. It's got to be a shot to the end zone here.
He's looking to the right side. He has pressure in his face. He escapes the pressure, but he's not going to escape the rest of it. And he gets stopped. Dembowski's trying to argue with the rest for a face mask, but he's not going to get a call. He is mad. He throws his clipboard on the ground.
And that was a pretty blatant face mask. Lexington got away with one on that.
I mean, kind of like how no tablets are safe around Tom Brady, no clipboards are safe around Walter Dembowski.
And if that's what we see just before half, imagine what the players get to see during half.
That was not a good play call.
No, it was not. If there's an injury, I hope everybody's okay. But you can never have your quarterback rushing to his left or right on 4th and long. You need to keep him alive. Sometimes that means, yes, you're allowed 5 eligible receivers. Sometimes that means 1 is a running back and you keep him in for pass protection. That's what I would have done on something like this when you might anticipate a bit of a rush.
I mean, the Lexington defensive line absolutely blew up the offensive line for Winchester. They had no chance. 3 men in Santarelli's face. He could not do anything. Couldn't go anywhere.
Well, here's the thing. They nailed him near the end, but at the beginning of the play, it was just 1 guy who broke through. He had a shot. Just needed to keep him alive. With 1 extra person, you would have had that opportunity.
Now it looks like they're going to try to get some points here with 30 seconds to go in shotgun. And never mind, they're going to run to the right side. Not going to go anywhere. And this should run out the rest of the clock on the first half.
Mendez stepping on the carry for Lexington.
Lexington's getting a little greedy here. Mendez is lucky he wasn't hurt. He was tackled on the ankle behind.
And he's just going to come over to the coach, see what they're talking about. This should run out the clock for the first half, unless they try some sort of Hail Mary here.
A Hail Mary, and you can't be taking a Hail Mary at the 35-yard line. What you might see here is a Miami Miracle type of play.
They don't have time to snap. They get the snap off, actually. And he's going deep. He's going to be chased out of the pocket to the left side. He's looking, and he's brought down. Flags fly.
Flag on the play.
Flag for what?
I think it might be roughing the passer, but it's not going to matter. There's zeros on the clock.
But I don't think it could end on a defensive penalty.
Oh. That.
Half cannot end on a
Holding
defense.
against Lexington.
Oh, it's fine. It's half.
Lexington. So that will be the half at the Knowlton Turf. We go into half.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Lexington 7, Winchester 0. My name is Nikhil Karthikeyan. Alongside me is Andrew Termini, and we will catch you in just about 15 minutes for the start of the second half. ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the CRCF field at Winchester, where you're just getting the second half underway. There's Ben Wilson on the left side with the return. He has a hole up the middle, and he gets tackled at around the 37-yard line. So coming into the second half here between the Winchester Red and Black and Lexington Minutemen, Lexington leads it 7-0. Been defensive game so far, both offensive making plenty of mistakes, and both teams taking many unnecessary penalties.
Tyler Trexler getting really hyped up by his teammates on the sideline after that smart tackle on the special teams return. Now, if you're Winchester, Lexington hasn't touched the ball in, 10 minutes, 15 minutes?
Keep it that way.
Yeah, exactly. I'd make it a nice long drive, get a touchdown out of it, but make them angsty on the sideline.
I mean, the run has been working. Like, they took some unnecessary passes towards the end of the first half earlier.
Which reminds me, who's in at quarterback?
This time it's Lowenstein.
Lowenstein's back. Good to see he's okay.
So he has Doucette in the backfield again with him. So Akira's now been replaced. In motion is Keogh. It's going to be a handoff to Doucette. And he only gets about 4 yards, being tackled center field near the 42-yard line.
One thing you're noticing a lot more is initially Lexington's game plan was to keep Mendez paired up with Ben Wilson. They've slowly shifted away from that, and you're seeing a lot more of Mendez covering Schlesinger. I wonder if they think that's the better matchup, or if they're just not as scared as Ben Wilson as they initially thought. Looks like over here you have Schlesinger split out wide, matched up against Ryan Renaro. We haven't seen much of him at corner tonight. But it also looks like both teams are planning a run.
Both lines stacking the box. And it will be a run to Doucette. Gets a couple of yards. Near the first down marker, the ball is out. And Lexington has it.
He was down.
But we'll see what the call is.
They ruled that he was down.
So that could have been disastrous.
that would have been a disaster. Winchester got very lucky. Looks like you got some player changes for Lexington. You got big Herbert Bonds at 220 coming out of the game. Whenever you see a big defensive tackle coming out of the game, then the answer should be run right at his replacement.
Well, speaking of big substitutions, looks like Lowenstein's going to come off for Santarelli again, and their running back Doucette's been taken out for Akira, the senior. So they're utilizing Akira more than they have in the last couple of games, which is good to see. And on third down and inches, you really just got to call a run. Anything other than a run is silly.
And it looks like Mendez is late lining up with Schlesinger. Depending on the route he runs, he could beat him clean on a short pass.
And Santarelli's just going to go for the run like he has all game. He has the hole, and he gets to midfield for the first down. Winchester.
Good run. And the thing that Santarelli did well there, he knew he only needed a yard. Take what you can get. Go down. Don't get hurt. You already got a teammate hurt tonight in Lowenstein potentially. You can't afford another quarterback injury.
And now Santarelli will check out, and Lowenstein's back with Doucette. So I noticed that whenever they bring out Lowenstein, they always line him up with Doucette. Whenever they bring out Santarelli, they always line him up with Akira. Might have to be quarterback, running back preferences.
The other thing that's becoming apparently clear is actually all the way for the snap.
And it's a fake handoff up the left side. Goes Costello. He's still going all the way down to the 25-yard line. Big 25-yard completion. That's got to be one of the longest completions we've seen all day.
Yeah, from both teams.
And really weren't expecting that. I think everyone thought it was going to be a run, so we were completely caught off guard by the play action.
Brilliantly executed, even us up here. Very few people have better view than us tonight, and that fooled us too. But what I was saying was, it's becoming very easy to read Lexington's defense. It's just Mendez. If you see him lined up against Wilson, it's more than likely some sort of man coverage. If he's against Schlesinger, it's probably some kind of zone.
I mean, we've been talking about this. The Lexington defense has not been particularly good in their past few games this season, showing tonight. But Winchester not been able to capitalize. Now here's Doucette up the middle. Only gets about 3 yards before being tackled.
That's a play I'll accept. You're beating them up. You're confusing them. They're getting upset. Ram the ball down their throat.
I mean, yeah, the short 3-yard gain's working. You'll get the first down eventually. And you're running out clock, keeping the Lexington offense on the sideline. They really haven't seen any action in the last couple of minutes. Apart from that one play towards the end of the half.
Looks like Winchester waiting for communication from their coach. They can't decide what play they want. But it looks like Lowenstein's back out there.
And now they're going to run with Doucette in the backfield. An I formation, kind of.
Looks to be man coverage. They got nobody back deep. They got a safety now. He backs up.
Doucette nowhere to go. Blown up by the Lexington defensive line. On the play was William Everett, number 84, his first big tackle.
On the tackle for Lexington.
Now, it's all right. They got one tackle. I wouldn't be so scared of that, Winchester. Yes, you got 3rd and 8, but you still have plenty of calls that can work here, especially if you keep Lowenstein in the game.
Now, a big thing we were talking about towards the end of the first half was kicking range. They went for it on a big 4th down, and they didn't make it. We'll see what they do here if it does go to 4th down. They'll line up the same way with Lowenstein in the backfield. Doucette right next to him. We'll step back. Quick pass as a man wide open. It's Schlesinger, and he gets right down near the first down marker. He'll be just about 2 yards short, bringing up 4th down and really short, just about 2.
See, I would kick the field goal here and take the points, but Winchester has shown that they do not like field goals, and they're going to go for it on nearly every circumstance. And it looks like you still see the majority of the starters out there, including Lowenstein, still on the field.
Well, it's 4th down and 2, so I think you got to run it. You only need 2 yards.
Either run, or if you see them stack in the box, go a quick slant.
Lexington away crowd making a lot of noise for defense. Now a flag is called, and it's going to be on Lexington. Someone jumps, and
Offside
Winchester gets lucky with the Lexington undisciplined.
That is good for a 1st down.
And that'll bring up 1st down and 10 inside the Lexington red zone now at the 15-yard line.
The start to this half is going exactly Winchester's way. Couldn't be any better.
Now, this is what we were talking about earlier as well. Lexington having many unnecessary penalties, and it's killed them here. Like, they had a chance to put an end to the drive, stop Winchester's momentum completely, and now Winchester has the 1st down.
Belton Wilson alone out wide. Mendez hasn't matched up with him yet.
Yeah, I just noticed that. That's a one-on-one.
Mendez caught himself. He's trailing.
He's going over the middle, and pass was too much inside, looking for Keogh.
He was not anticipating a blitz. He got blitzed, had to get rid of it quickly. Got hit as he threw. Lucky that one wasn't picked.
I mean, if he had maybe like 1 or 2 more seconds, that would have been a touchdown.
Tell that to Joe Burrow.
For the red and black.
Will Schlesinger's going on he's at the bottom of the screen here, just going, hey guys, come on, like, I'm ready, let's go.
They're changing the play. They're all looking at their wrist to see what the new play is. Now Keogh will go in motion to the right side. It'll be a run to Doucette, and he won't get anywhere, and that'll bring up 3rd down and long again.
Well, and here's the thing that I think is interesting, that Lexington's defense is becoming increasingly easy to read in terms of whether they're going with some sort of man or zone coverage. But normally, if you know you're going against man, you have certain man coverage calls. If you're going against zone, you have zone coverage calls. Winchester doesn't seem to really care what Lexington's coverage is. They want to run the plays they want to run, and it doesn't really matter what defense Lexington has in place for it.
They line up on the right hash. They got 4 receivers on the outside again. 2 one-on-ones, or 3 one-on-ones, so they're playing man.
If you look off the safety, you have a seam here.
And there's a blitz, and it's just going to be thrown over. A good effort play made by Keogh, I think, who was diving for it, or was it?
That's going to bring up a 4th down and 8 for the red and black.
Looked like Cedric Edwards.
And that brings up 4th down. We'll see what they call here. And the kicking unit will come on, Core, to try a short field goal. Just about, should say, 25, 26 yards. And they'll actually line up a little bit back, so it'll be a 30-yard try.
Core can make this easily.
He missed a 29-yarder earlier.
He did, but I think that's, again, he had pressure coming from one side. I think he was trying to overcompensate a little bit.
They've had some major special teams issues at home over the 2 home games they've had this year. We'll see. Hold is down, kick is up, and it's routine. And, maybe it was pulled left.
No, it's good.
It was good.
Field goal is good.
There you go.
That was almost a carbon copy of the other kick, except this time it's slightly in instead of slightly out.
Exactly. I think, again, there wasn't pressure that time, but I think he may have been anticipating pressure from one side.
30-yard field goal.
So I think that's the biggest thing with Core is he's an outstanding kicker. Everyone knows he's an outstanding kicker on both teams. I think the biggest thing is don't be so scared if there's pressure coming from one side or another. Trust your teammates to block for you and just do what you need to do to get that ball to the uprights.
So now Winchester finally gets on the board after a quarter or 2 quarters and 6 minutes. And yeah, speaking of 6 minutes, they've already run out 6 minutes in this quarter on that drive.
That's exactly what you want. And here's the thing, if you can have one great defensive drive and get them off the field on a 3-and-out, do it again. If you can get Lexington to only touch the ball once the entire quarter, that kills their morale.
I mean, we were talking about momentum earlier when Lexington scored that touchdown. Their offense hasn't played much in the last 20-ish minutes of field time, so any sort of momentum they did have, it's gone.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I think that's Winchester has a game plan, and they're executing it pretty well. Points are going to come into premium. As long as you can hold Lexington, you're fine, because if you play this well, if you're Winchester, Lexington's only going to touch the ball 3 more times.
Now, Core's kick is deep, and it'll be just outside of the end zone near the 5-yard line. 2 men almost bumped into each other trying to catch it. Now going up the left side is Sue, and we'll get up to about the 16-yard line where he's stuffed by literally the entire Winchester team, and they're celebrating something. They're saying there was a fumble. Coach is pointing Winchester ball.
The refs agree.
And they say Winchester ball. What a turn of events here.
Russell Lebert can't believe it.
Everything going wrong for Lexington in the second half. It's exactly like last time, Winchester versus Waltham, where Winchester did great in the first half. Everything went bad in the second half. It's the opposite here. Winchester, everything going their way now.
Well, I mean, this is what you want on senior night. You know, this is the last time they're going to play here outside of the Thanksgiving game. They got all their families here. Give the seniors a chance to show off in front of their friends and family and win a clean home game.
No, I didn't see who punched it out, but whoever it was, that's a great play.
Sue had it. Lebert was arguing on his behalf, but to no avail. And I think another big perk that goes underrated here, that the fumble occurred on the Winchester sideline.
Yeah, they only have to go, 20 yards? They start in the red zone. This is incredible field position.
It is. Now, if you're Winchester, don't get cute. You're at the 20. Incorporate some runs here.
Edwards on that last fumble recovery.
It looks like they're going to listen to you. They got 2 running backs in the backfield. This time they're actually lining up Akira and Doucette, which we haven't seen much of. Mostly it's been one or the other.
19-yard line.
This could be called as a penalty on Lexington's coach if the referees want. Can't be standing on the field.
I think in high school football they don't really care, because I see Coach Domowski standing on the field all the time.
It's one of those things that technically it is against the rules and it is the referee's discretion. Typically you are right and they're not going to give him a hard time. But if the referee's in a bad mood or if it's in too much in the referee's face, they can give you a penalty for that.
A couple weeks ago, the Waltham game, I remember the refs gave the coach a penalty for arguing with them too much. That was coach for Waltham.
That's right. You got a seam open in the middle of the field again. If you look off the safety properly, you got cover 1 here.
The run to the left side. Doucette's dragged down hard in his own backfield. A great defensive play made by Lexington, bringing up 3rd down at about 13.
Matteo Gentile on the tackle. Senior.
So
2nd and 14. 3rd and long. Okay, if it's 3rd and long, that's the problem. There's no good calls for 4th and long. See, here's my thing. One thing Lexington has been consistently doing is bringing pressure, particularly on 3rd and long, which is not a bad decision. That being said, if you expect a blitz or you expect pressure on 3rd and long, there's calls against that. Have a solid screen ready or have a one-on-one call pass protection, take your deep shot into the end zone here. But be ready for the blitz here. Be proactive, not reactive if you're Winchester.
Doesn't look like they're going to blitz here. And it's going to be a run by the quarterback. And he's going to keep on his feet, but he's only going to make it to the 19-yard line. They brought in Jack Centerelli for that play, who, when you see him on the field, you know they're going to run. And on trots Kieran Core again.
That's okay. Make it a 1-point game.
Second time on the field in the last 2 minutes. Not something you see every day as a kicker.
Hey, if he's saying maybe I'm the only one who scores points in this game, trust me, coach.
37-ish yard attempt for Core. 1 for 2 on the day. We'll see how this goes.
What's the players trying to get their away fans to make some noise for?
This time it's on the left hash, too. The one he pulled was pulled left. The away crowd making a lot of noise. The kick is up, and it is good.
1 point game. Good job, Kieran Core.
That was close. It looked like it almost didn't have the distance, but it just squeaked by.
It almost looked like Kieran Core was trying to do the house behind the goalpost a favor and not hit their house.
I can tell you one thing, the contact off the foot was definitely not what he wanted. You could see it didn't spin the correct way. It kind of spun sideways.
It almost looked like the lace, because whenever you have it, the lace has got to be out. Almost looked like the laces could have been in a little bit on that kick.
But kick still manages to go through, and a kick is a kick. Points are points. You take them no matter how ugly it is.
Exactly. Hey, whichever team wins this game, you're not going to go into the halftime saying that this was the prettiest.
Oh, by far.
But doesn't matter. You'll take an ugly win over a pretty loss.
Of course, last time on the kickoff, they fumbled. Hopefully they don't do that again.
Kieran seems to be gaining a little confidence back here, too.
Yeah, he's made both of his last field goals, so good for him. Now a deep kickoff that'll go near the end zone, and they'll let it bounce in the end zone for a touchback. So not trying to risk another fumble here, and they'll just get the ball at the 25-yard line.
See, if you're Kieran, maybe I'd be a little greedy here. I'd try to kick it closer to 10. Yeah, I'd force him to return it. Force you to try and do something.
That's something they're very uncomfortable with.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, we were talking earlier about, towards the end of the last series of plays, we saw Nelson Mendez, quarterback for Lexington. He was limping a little, but he seems to be okay right now, being put back in the game.
I don't want any injuries, nor do I, obviously, I would never advocate for that. That being said, you know, he was limping at one point. I would put him under pressure, make him see ghosts a little bit.
And you can see Winchester's already doing that. They got a couple lined up. It's a running play, and there's a hole up the right side. He'll get the first down to the 31-yard line. There's a late hit on Cedric Edwards. That's going to be unnecessary roughness. He knows it. Slamming his helmet.
There were at least 3 missed tackles on that play. Jack Centarelli's the one who finally came in to clean up the mess.
That late hit was not needed. But they're moving the chains back, which means it's going to be a Lexington penalty. I could have sworn I saw a late hit.
Oh, that absolutely was a late hit. And they're calling out
Winchester, so they'll move the 6 the other way. So yeah, you can't be taking that penalty. He's already down. You don't need to go for another shot at him.
And that's the thing that you've seen a lot more recently in high school football over the recent years is they're not going to deal with that nonsense. You need to protect the players, and they're not, you know, you risk ejection for that, even suspension for that.
Just because it wasn't that hard of a hit, they'll only call a penalty. They won't call anything else.
Yeah.
But this could give Lexington life, which is not something you want to do as Winchester. Looks like they're just going to keep on running it. Sue taken down after about 4 yards, and they're not going to risk the safety of their quarterback anymore, who's been going for those.
On the tackle for Winchester.
And Parker Nagdal on the tackle for Winchester. Captain, senior, WHS. Now Lexington coming out of the huddle quickly. Trying to catch Winchester sleeping. There's some one-on-ones on the outside, which could be interesting. There's no deep safeties back if they do throw. But it's just going to be a run, and he's stopped immediately after about a 1-yard gain. And that brings up 3rd down and about 5.
Linebackers are all over it. I think they got fooled the first couple runs with Sue. But now Winchester says, all right, we know what the game plan is. We're going to try and take this away. Let's force a pass.
I mean, I think they know that he's been a bit shaken on passes. He really hasn't had any big completions in this game so far. All of his big plays have been on the runs.
Which is, again, strange. I think that it would be better for Lexington if you let your quarterback stand back in the pocket and have a little bit of time, but none of Lexington's play calling has allowed that.
They're leaning hard into the run. We'll see what they call here. He's got one-on-ones on every side. But no one's open, and he's forced to scramble. He has nowhere to go, and the Winchester defense makes a huge stop to force 4th down.
Mendez Stiffen on the keeper for Lexington.
What this almost looks like is early Lamar Jackson, where every team figured out that at that point he couldn't throw. So they're calling defense going, okay, We know you have a hard time throwing. Go for it. We don't trust you to do it. That's what Winchester's play calling is showing me here. They're saying, all right, Mendez, we know you're talented. We don't trust you to stand back there and throw the football.
Oh, and they're going for it. 4th down and 3, they're going for it. If they don't make this here...
Big play coming up here right here now.
That's rough for Lexington if they don't make it here. Everything will be going for Winchester.
Winchester crowd getting a little bit chirpy on 4th and 4.
We'll see. He'll drop back, rolling to his right. He's going to keep going, and a block came in from Sue, and it'll be just around the first down marker.
That was definitely holding on Sue. I don't know if they're going to call it. Looks like they will not. Sue gets away with one there.
A Minuteman first down.
Barely got the first down even with the block. But they're just going to design that run. They're going to call it every time, every single big play, short yardage gain, rolling to the right with the option. That time it wasn't even an option. They just rolled to the right, had a quarterback draw.
I think the other piece of it is, if he's going to go out of bounds, I think both teams want to keep the clock running. With a field position defensive game, it could come down to who has the ball last.
Now, we were talking about the kicker for Lexington hasn't made a field goal this season, so if it comes down to that, that'll be interesting. But we saw Lexington go for a big 4th down earlier. Now, another running play for the quarterback to the left side, and he's going to be taken down. And a late hit there by Winchester. Not going to be called.
Mendez on the keeper for Lexington.
Mendez Steffen's not going anywhere. Brings up 2nd down and 10. So we were just talking a second ago about the refs' no-nonsense attitude towards dangerous plays.
That one Winchester got away with. I think they do care. It was one of those where maybe they had their backs turned for a quick second trying to get set up for the next play. But if you're Winchester, okay, you got called for one, you got away with one. I'd cut it out here before it becomes serious. Especially if it's the same player on more than one occasion, which I'm not saying it was. I'm not sure who was guilty of the second penalty there, but it's not something the refs are going to allow.
Both teams gotten away with some penalties. Now dropping back is Mendez Stevens. He has a one-on-one on the left side, looking deep. There's Sencione in coverage again. This time, clean coverage, no pass interference, and that brings up 3rd down and long.
Very smart coverage by Sencione on the play. He stayed with him step for step. The wide receiver, yes, had a little bit of an edge on him, but one thing you saw from Sencione that was brilliant, he waited for the receiver's hands to go out, then he stuck out his hands to break up the pass, not going too early, even though he had to trail him and he couldn't look behind him.
Of course,
smart
when you
play.
are a cornerback, you want to be underneath the route like that on deep balls. And there's just about 5 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter, but of course an incomplete pass stops the clock, so this should be the final play of the quarter.
If I'm Lexington, I'm going to have to go to the other side in a minute anyway. Do it again. I'd go a deep shot again, maybe not to the end zone, but I'm taking another shot.
I mean, you could see a run here. Nope, they're going to go for a pass. He's dropping back, and now he's going to run, but a great tackle. Finally, he's brought down by 3 players.
On the keeper again.
And it'll bring up 4th down and 7.
That's the end of the 3rd quarter.
End of the 3rd quarter. So in just a moment, when they switch sides of the field, we'll be back for start of the 4th. 7-6 Winchester.
One thing that's getting a little concerning if you're Lexington, if Mendez is your entire team, don't let him get killed. Protect him.
And he's slightly limping again. He looks gassed. Like every single play call has been around him. It's either him or his running backs.
I mean, it looks like Mahomes in the Super Bowl a few years ago. Every single play is on him, run around, try to make magic happen, boom or bust. Which, if it works, it works. But if he's just going to take nonstop punishment, you need to do something about that. Whether that, if you need the big play, that's fine. But call extra protection. If you can get away with small plays, then do it. And in this scenario, you can. You still have a full quarter.
I mean, of course, unlike that Super Bowl, the other team's offense isn't really capitalizing too much on their opportunities gained from the offensive mistakes.
That's fair.
So that's why this game's so close. It's still 7-6. But this is a huge 4th down here because they're going to go for it. They're not punting it.
And honestly, with this type of game, I would punt it.
Because you have the lead.
And not only do you have the lead,
not many points are being scored.
It's a field position game. I would rather Winchester, okay, start at the 10-yard line. I don't trust you to go 90 yards on me.
Now they have 3 running backs in the back, which you haven't seen much. One of the wide receivers is lined up in the back, and I don't see their quarterback out there.
Yeah, Mendez is not on the field. Could this be a punt?
Oh, it is a punt. So,
smart decision by Lexington here.
My bad. I thought they were going for it.
It's all right.
Snap to the...
That looked like he might...
And the punt is really high. It doesn't have much distance. They're just going to let it bounce, and it takes a favorable Lexington bounce all the way down to the 9-yard line.
Winchester will take over on the 10-yard line.
Smart play by Lexington, not only in principle but in execution. Down to inside the 10. I don't trust, if you're Lexington, I don't trust Winchester to go 90 yards. I'll take that gamble. You could stop him even around the 20. You get the ball in decent field position, and you can eat more clock off.
They really just got to commit to the run more. They got to keep on running it.
I think the top priority for Lexington, not only, you're right, stick to the run, but the other piece of it, my goal, no pun intended, should be a field goal. Because realistically, Winchester has gotten field goals. They have not gotten one touchdown in this game. You get a field goal, 6-10, you're forcing Winchester to go the distance, and it's something they haven't been able to do all game long.
Now Lowenstein's being put back in the game, of course being switched around quite often with Centerelli. Which means it's likely going to be a pass. He'll look to the left side. He has a receiver. There's Bronner Keogh. But they're going to say the pass is incomplete and hit the turf. And that'll bring up 2nd down and 10.
Tough tackle by the defensive back on that play, and if you're a fan of the team, that's exactly how you want your defensive back to play. If you're a fan of the opposing team, you're calling for a penalty every single time.
Of course, that's a clean hit.
It's absolutely a clean hit. It's what you want, but it's one of those where if you're the offensive player, that's one where you might be whining a little bit.
Now, we were talking about the one-on-one with Mendez-Steven on the outside before. He looks gassed. I think they could realistically target the receivers being covered by him just because of how tired he looks. Now they'll run it to Doucette. He's not going to have anywhere to go. That'll bring up 3rd down and long.
The type of route that I think would work very well against Mendez, put the fastest receiver you have on Mendez, make it look like it's going to be a deep shot, and then do a quick in-cut just past the sticks.
Christian Arrington on the
Maybe a
tackle.
10-15 yard dig would work really well here.
Otherwise, just a quick 3 and out. That's not very productive on offense.
Yeah, this is going exactly the way Lexington wanted when they opted for that punt. This ball should go to Ben Wilson here. Looks like he's going to have one-on-one coverage, and it's not going to be Mendez against him.
He's looking towards the other side. The pass wasn't there for Doucette, and that should bring out the punting unit. Right back out for Winchester.
For a little clarification, he had he saw Wilson one-on-one. That's what it looked like, and that's where he was going. One thing that I didn't anticipate, nor did the quarterback, was that one of the other linebackers in the back was also just a spy on Wilson. He was double covered. Number one, the throw wasn't open, and if he forced it, either would have been a pick or he would have been popped. And also, there was a blitz coming, so he had no time. The route wasn't there. He got rid of it.
Now, this is a dangerous punt for Winchester. They're punting from their own end zone. They can't have any sort of miscue. And the snap is good. The punt will be up, and it'll land around the 45. The receiver will just elect to let it bounce, and it takes a Winchester bounce down to the 47-yard line where Lexington will start their next drive.
Lexington will take over on the 47-yard line.
Their offense has not been productive at all in the second half. No points and not too much yardage to show for it either.
If I'm Winchester, bring the pressure. Blitz, push him back. You don't want the ball back in your own end zone if you get it back.
Now, a good sign for Lexington is Mendez-Steven appears to be still there, so he's not injured in any sort of way.
And that's one thing that we are very fortunate, and I want to make this clear, is, yeah, we've had a few penalties. There have been no serious injuries tonight, and that's fantastic. Although Mendez does seem to be having an extensive conversation with his coaches at the moment.
Now he'll join the rest of the team in the huddle. He's got Sue back in the backfield once again. 4 receivers on the outside.
Looks like cover 1 by Winchester.
He'll run up the middle. He has space, and he's tripped up at around the 42. Takes the bounce to around the 44-yard line, near the first down marker. That'll bring up 2nd down and really short.
Looks like Liam Poole, who made the tackle, is hurt on that play. Took a hit on his shoulder.
2nd down and 1.
Winchester might call a timeout, give him a chance to breathe or get a substitution.
Now, we were talking about those one-on-one deep shots on second down earlier. All the deep shots Lexington has taken has been against Sencion so far.
That's a good point you bring up. They've targeted him, and Sencion has lived up to the challenge.
Of course, there's that one DPI, but then the next good play. And they're looking exactly in that direction again, but Sencion, and it's caught by the other receiver. It's caught by Mazeral. And he gets the first down, but there's a flag on the play. We'll see. It's in the backfield. So it's going to be on Lexington. It's holding on Lexington.
Against Lexington.
So a huge play for Lexington, negated once again by penalty. And the lineman knows that he has made a grave mistake. It was Mateo Gentile, the senior captain, on the hold.
Catch by Jack
Winchester bringing some depth in at defensive tackle.
You really can't do that. You finally got a big passing play, but it has to go all the way back because of a hold.
Chris Lachard, all 265 pounds of him is coming in, the senior. They got to be anticipating a run here.
Now, Sencion, the aforementioned cornerback who's being targeted, taken out, being replaced by Joe Guida, the sophomore. Haven't seen much of him tonight. Looks like they'll just give him a breather.
And that's the thing on that play. It looked like Sencion actually had an interception. The receiver jumped in and saved the day for Lexington.
Now it'll be a run for Sue, and he's tripped up. He stumbled on himself, and that'll be a big loss. That'll bring up third down and unconceivable.
Yeah, after the Daniel Jones-esque play, you deserve to be in third down and a mile.
It'll be about 17 yards, 18. I mean, Lexington's one big passing play just got called back, so...
They had another big play earlier that was called back due to penalties. It was almost the exact same play, actually.
So the penalties really killing them here. But, of course, they still have that one-on-one matchup on the outside, this time with the cornerback who hasn't been in the game much, so it'd be interesting to see if they targeted him again. He'll drop back. He's looking in the middle of the field on the crossing play, but the offensive line collapses. He's running out of the pocket. Looks for the throw, and it's tipped, and it's caught again!
That's the second play time that's happened to Winchester. They get their hands on a ball, tip it, and it still results in a catch.
Are you kidding me?
John Kefalis with the catch. I cannot believe that.
That was Easton Halsey who undercut the route, and he tipped it, but it winded up in the arms of the Lexington receiver.
Unbelievable. That's exactly what Lexington needed to keep their momentum up and stay in this game. If you're Winchester, you've had your hands in at least two balls, maybe three could be interceptions. And I think if you're Winchester, you need an interception if you're going to win this game.
Of course, finally, they get a big play without it being called back by a penalty. That's huge for Lexington. It was third down and 20, and they converted.
Absolutely incredible.
Now they'll pitch it out to the outside. There's Sue cutting back to the inside. He'll be tackled after 3 yards. Flag flies in the backfield.
Who are they going to call this one? A holding on Lexington.
So another big penalty. That'll bring it back to second down and 20. That's about the fourth or fifth holding penalty on Lexington this game. Their offensive line being one of the most undisciplined.
Well, and I think what that shows, especially late in the game, when you get this many holding penalties and lack of discipline, it shows that your players are tired. And it shows that they're really having a hard time matching up with Winchester's defensive line. And in that scenario, if I'm defensive coordinator, blitz. I know they can't handle it. I know they're holding left and right. And also, part of being an NFL player is you're going to be an actor a little bit. I want you blitzing, but also sell it. I want you to show me that you're being held. Fall down, make it look like the guy's grabbing your neck. I want constant penalties because that's going to frustrate this Lexington team and make them perform worse.
Coach Dembowski says otherwise. Looks like he's not going to blitz.
Interesting decision.
Now, Mendez-Stevens dropping back. He had a pass for a second, and there's
wide open,
and he overthrew it just over his head, and it was dropped by Ryan Renaro. He had a touchdown there. Guaranteed.
Absolutely a touchdown. Lexington once again had an opportunity in their hands. Number 7 for Winchester was beat, Cedric Edwards. They just got away with one. A hair overthrown. Maybe he could have made it, the jump a little bit later, but it's that type of play that keeps Winchester in the game.
I mean, we talked about this earlier, but the mistakes are just killing each team.
I said it early in the game. This game is both teams are playing. I'm going to let your offense make the mistake and win this game. It's not even when I say mistake, I'm expecting turnover. I'm expecting bad play calling. It's just time after time when Lexington has things designed well, they just don't execute them.
Now some confusion in the Winchester secondary. Lexington's quarterback seems to be even more confused, taking a deep shot, and it's nearly picked.
Almost picked, hits the ground.
But they'll say it hits the ground. Yeah,
Almost.
I think that hit the ground. But that was great. That was Will Schlesinger, safety.
Smartly read by Schlesinger on that play, the captain. And that's the thing is, every single play when they take a deep shot, he has a defender in his face. Maybe it's not a sack, maybe it's not a fumble or anything crazy, but it's enough to make him throw it a hair early and put the ball in danger.
That's just not a good throw because he has two people on him in coverage. There's no way he's making the catch. In that case, you just run out, you throw it away. You don't want to do that. That's very punishable. Very fortunate it wasn't a pick. And 3rd down and 20, they converted the last one.
I'll say, that's now the 3rd dropped interception.
Mendez Stevens to drop back. Receiver's just running straight. He'll
take
run it
off himself,
but he's not going to get there. There's no way. And he'll only get about 10 yards before being tackled. Bringing up 4th down and 10 with just under 7:41 to go.
You have to punt here.
Yep, there's really no sort of explanation at all for going for it. There's no reason to.
On a tackle
and they will bring out the special teams unit. Once again, John Cafalis to punt.
It's your Winchester. This drive might be the last time. Theoretically, it should be this drive and probably one more time that you touch the ball, but you got to treat this as though it is the last time you touch the ball.
I mean, we got to go back to that first drive of the second half. That was the perfect drive for Winchester. They really just got to do that again. Take 6 minutes off the clock, get consistent running plays, get the field goal in. Boom, Lexington has no time, and you win the game.
I'd keep 2 quarterbacks in. You might, you talked about your trick play earlier. You might get it on this drive.
And the snap is high, but the punt will be sent back normally. Now, he probably shouldn't catch it here. It's pretty deep. He will catch it, and there goes Killian. There's a flag on the play, but he has
30, 40,
the track start,
50, 40. He's gone.
He's gone to the end zone. That's a
touchdown, Winchester.
But there is a flag in the backfield. There's a flag. One of the players is arguing with the ref. Easton Halsey's arguing, and I think this is coming back. It's coming back.
Oh no!
It's coming back. It's a push on Winchester. That's gotta hurt.
That was an incredible run back, and it was ill-advised catch. He made magic happen there.
95-yard punt return. Now we hear boos coming from the crowd. They don't like the call at all. The biggest play of the game. And will come all the way back.
And that's the thing with these refs is they've let these players play tonight. They haven't really made a whole lot of calls.
No, but I didn't see anything there. I really didn't see anything.
My point is I think we were all more focused on the player running the ball back. But since these referees have not called all that much, it makes me think it was pretty egregious for them to throw the flag.
So on comes Winchester's defense. They'll have to start at the 9-yard line. Their offense. They have 6.5 to go to march down the field 95 yards. Last hurrah for the team.
These fans are not happy. Extremely unhappy.
Now we get a seat. This is a tough situation no matter what you do because they're pinned so far deep in their end zone. You almost have to get it out of here.
Here's the thing, though. Just remember, a field goal wins the game. So you don't need to get it in your mind of, I got 90 yards to go. No, you got about 60.
Let's see what the call is. It'll be a run.
Quarterback
will keep it, and he'll get around the first down. He gets the first down. That's what you want to see. You want to see the chains with the run. Keep the clock running. Perfect execution.
Why is the clock stopped?
Don't know. That might be an error on the scorekeeper's end. I don't think Lexington called a timeout.
The clock is running now. There you go.
I think they were doing a bit of a measurement there to see if it was the first down.
That could have been. Okay.
So we didn't say it, but Santarelli's the quarterback out there, which we saw in that last run.
And that's what they need. The drive you had that was very successful had Santarelli a quarterback, and he's going to have to stay there for this team to win.
He has Akira in the backfield, as he usually does. It'll go to Akira up the middle, get about a yard before being tackled. Clock running, 5:55 to go.
One thing Winchester needs to get out of the habit of, it's becoming a very easy read. Anytime you have a receiver running around the other side, it's very obviously a run over and over again. And the corner lined up against that receiver knows it, and it's routinely that corner or that linebacker that's making the tackle. If you're that receiver, your job is to take care of that defender, make sure he's out of the way, and provide a good block for the run.
Now, this has got to be the closest game of the year so far for Winchester.
Hey, I'm excited by a good defensive game.
We get this final offensive drive to see if they have it, what it takes. Now, it'll be a run to the left side, but Doucette's not going to get much room. He still goes, gets about 3 yards, and that'll bring up third down and about 6 or 7.
Tough call here on 3rd and 4.
On the tackle for Lexington.
You have just about every play call you want at your disposal here.
And they'll line up with 2 running backs, Doucette and Akira.
You know, we've seen deep shots, we've seen runs, we haven't seen a whole lot of short passes. I think a short slant might be the right call here, especially if you think Lexington's blitzing.
But with Centerelli and 2 running backs in the backfield, you think this is a run?
It should be, all logic, all convention points to it being a run. But you got 2 running backs. You got nobody in the backfield. Everyone's split out.
Both running backs are in. This is an interesting play call. One of them might go in motion. Yeah, there he is. There's Doucette going in motion. Refs blow the whistle dead.
Winchester calls timeout.
They want to rethink this play.
And it's a good thing they did, because they made the same mistake I was talking about earlier. They left the linebacker wide open. He was coming right up to make the tackle.
You cannot afford that right now. There's 4 minutes to go. You need the first down here, because if you punt away here, the game could be over if you don't make a defensive stop.
And especially with this game, I'm trusting my defense. I would rather the game be in the hands of my defense than my offense. And I think Lexington, they're in that position, but it's a tough scenario. I'd rather be holding on to the lead than being forced to chase it.
So, realistically, this is the game right here.
It is. It really is. This is a huge third down.
And we'll see if they keep the 2 running back decision.
Who's the quarterback in for this play? This is the biggest play of the game.
It's going to be, I can't tell.
And I think that's exactly the way Winchester wants it. They want to hide it until the last second. And looks like it's Centerelli.
He's got a running back in the backfield and a running back on the outside. Or no, that's Costello on the outside. It's not a running back.
Showing pressure here. Here they come.
And he escapes the pressure, but he throws it in.
What was that?
Going to bring up 4th down.
Now, 4th down and 6. They're going to bring on the punting unit.
You have to. This close to your end zone, you don't have an option here.
Only chance being you hope your defense makes a miraculous stop and they miss the field goal.
That or
Lexington.
You've come dangerously close to a big interception all game long. If you're going to get the pick, now's the time.
But if you're Lexington, realistically, passing is the last thing to do.
Yes, but both of these teams have made unconventional play calling throughout the game. It wouldn't shock me here if Lexington gets into 3rd and long and tries to pass.
Mazerall deep for Lexington. Cord a punt off for Winchester. 4:06 to go. Cord will get the snap, and they'll punt it up high. They'll bring the pressure. He'll wave it off, saying he's not going to receive it. Takes the Winchester bounce all the way down to the 33-yard line. So Lexington starting deep in their own field with just under 4 minutes to go.
Certainly much deeper than they were expecting, and I think you got to say, win or loss, the MVP of this game for Winchester is Kieran Core. He's accumulating for all of their points in this game, and any chance they have of winning in this scenario, Kieran Core just gave them the opportunity to do that.
I mean, how many turnovers have we seen so far? Probably only 1, but how many turnovers could there have been? Like 4 or 5.
Exactly, and
they really have to start capitalizing on those turnover opportunities.
And again, the opportunities you need to capitalize on, every single one of them that's been missed is a dropped interception. That, and I think there was one, maybe two fumbles, which were out that Lexington was able to jump on. And
here, they'll go for a run up the left side, and he has space, but there's a flag. So we'll see. It's a big run, though. He takes two people to tackle him. Let's see what the call is. And it's holding on Lexington.
Again.
That's like the fifth time.
And first of all, it's definitely more than 5. That's the problem. Here's the other, and the much bigger problem for Lexington. A penalty stops the clock.
And it moves them back 10 yards, so the first down is incredibly far here. So let's see if they do run in here. Coach Dembowski is going to start calling his timeouts to stop the clock. You'd hope.
He has no choice. And I think that's going to be the most exciting thing from a fan's perspective is, assuming Winchester's able to get it back, we're going to see a 2-minute drill.
And mysteriously, the clock is still running.
That is interesting.
It's
a little peculiar.
Winchester's not going to have much time left, are they?
Winchester's playing deep.
Now it's going to be a quarterback draw for Mendes.
And
he's tackled at the 25-yard line.
He took a shot to the ribs on that play.
And he's still down. He's being helped up by his teammates.
Actually being helped up by a Winchester guy, too. Good sportsmanship.
And they're not calling a timeout.
Mendes said, Coach, come on, help me here.
The clock is still going. They got to call a timeout.
I would say, I'm a little surprised with what Dembowski's choosing to do here.
I mean, if you let them run the clock as far as they can, they're going to get it to about a minute left before you get the ball back.
17 for the Minutemen.
That's, of course, counting on the fact that you make a stop. Your Lexington, your last thing you do is pass. I really wouldn't imagine they pass at all. Mazerall in motion. It'll be another run to Sue up the outside. He's not going to go anywhere. He's going to cut back, but he's still not going to get too much yardage. That brings up third down and about
timeout 12. Winchester.
And finally, Dembowski will call one of his timeouts to stop the clock with just above 2 minutes to go.
Patty Galvin on that last tackle for Winchester.
Once again, there's the big defensive playmaker, Patty Galvin, on the stop.
Third down and a mile. Hold him here. You got 2 minutes to kick a field goal with Kieran Core.
Winchester's timeout.
Now, we've been talking about this all game, and it's been varying by game time, but, like, how far do they need to go to get him into range?
If for a game winner, my comfort zone would be inside the 20. Especially, he'd be kicking in the direction that he missed earlier. I would want to be inside the 20 for comfortable field goal range. Realistically, with Kieran Core being as talented as he is, inside the 30, you could make it work. Looks like the referee's having a conversation amongst themselves, trying to figure out what's going to happen on this third down along like the rest of us.
Something about the play clock is my guess. And I don't know, but I think the clock might start running.
I think they're waiting on the ref signal.
And the ref's giving his signal. They're ready to play. Mendes Stevens back. And someone jumped. That's going to be an offsides on Winchester. Brings up third down and 7, so it's still a big third down. Don't jump again. Whatever you do not jump again. Chris Lochard knew he jumped.
Yeah, he knew that was a mistake. And he's coming out of the game for that. Dembowski's mad.
They can't. They really cannot do that again.
You have an excellent chance to make a stop here, get the ball, and win this game. You can't blow it here.
And the crowd's starting to make some noise here. They want the defensive stop. They need it. They have to get it. This is the game.
Hand off to Sue.
To the outside. He has some space. He's still going. And he's tackled.
He's down.
He's not going to get it. And that'll bring up fourth down with just about 2 minutes to go. Clock running. Let's see Dembowski if he calls a timeout. And he does call a timeout. And that'll stop the clock. 2:08 to go. Fourth down.
You'll get the ball with 2 minutes left. And all you need is a field goal to win.
So Now Lexington goes to punt, and we get the final drive of the game upcoming for Winchester. And they really cannot rely on the run anymore.
No, they can't. And also, it has to be Lowenstein at this point, right? You have to pass. It's 2 minutes to go. Who's going to pass you into a victory here?
I'm honestly thinking back to the Fenway game last year where they were in a similar situation. Late in the game, you're driving down the field. Lowenstein just targeting Ben Wilson, and Wilson scoring that touchdown.
Yeah, it's going to have to be a very similar set of play calling.
Wilson now back deep with Killian. Now, I'm interested to see Killian return again, because last time he returned, he scored the touchdown, but there was a flag, which negated it. But coach putting him in now for his incredible speed.
You have to. And that's the thing is, normally, if you're the other team, the objective is kick it away from Ben Wilson. Well, it's okay. You either go to kick to Ben Wilson or you kick to my speedster, pick your poison. And I think that's exactly the conversation that Lexington's having right now, which direction they want to kick, or if they want to try and go up the middle here.
Definitely out of bounds, I'd say. Definitely out of bounds.
They've tried that before, though, and it landed right in Ben Wilson's hands.
Try harder.
That's one way to put it.
And there's John Kafalis once again for another punt for Lexington.
They're going to try false start Lexington.
So that'll just move back the punt a little. I mean, I wouldn't be too mad if I'm Lexington.
I was a little scared as soon as I saw a penalty because I was just thinking offsides would force the first down. But now Winchester's got a little bit of breathing room.
No, I thought it was 4th down and 6.
4th and 4.
No, it's wrong, though, because it's now like 4th and 11 almost. Or 10. So, yeah, that might have actually been the first down. That would have been ball game. Oh, wow, yeah, that's scary. Now Kafalis to punt once more. The punt will go up. It was nearly blocked, and it's a very short punt. It might have been tipped around midfield.
Winchester's going to get it at midfield.
So
30 yards.
With great field position, and I think it was tipped.
That was definitely tipped. They need 30 yards to go win this game, and running is now absolutely a possibility here.
Now, one thing I don't understand is the Winchester student section is almost empty now. They all already left. They didn't get to see the best part.
This is what you're here for, and if you're a fan, I don't care what team you cheer for, this is the moment that you want, the chance to win the game with 2 minutes left.
Everything lies on this drive. Come on.
Let's go. And it looks like they're going to put Centarelli a quarterback here.
Which means you know they're going to try to run it.
Exactly.
That's an interesting decision.
They should run to the right side with all the receivers blocking.
And
they're going to pass.
Oh, it's actually Lowenstein, but it's caught, and he'll run out of bounds. There's Wilson. So the clock will stop with 1:54 to go at the 42-yard line, bringing up 2nd down and short. So
there you go.
We're mistaken. It was actually Lowenstein, and Centarelli having similar statures, and their numbers were also similar.
2nd down and 4 for the red and black.
So 2nd down and 4 here. They got some breathing room. Maybe take a deep shot.
No, you can't take a deep shot here.
That'd be throwing the game.
You can't do that. It's got to be a run. A run, maybe a short pass, but I think a run to the right side safer.
Showing pressure. They're going to get some pressure up the middle.
You dropped it
by Killian. He had a wide open first down catching pass. And that brings up 3rd down and 4.
Unbelievable. That would have been a first down right there. So much would have eased the tension for Winchester considerably.
It's one of the first passes we've seen Killian get targeted. Danny Killian, the sophomore at Winchester High School.
Well, and that's the interesting piece is he's so fast and so talented, but I think the team's still trying to figure out how to use him.
Almost like Tyreek Hill in a way where he has insane speed.
I was just thinking about that. You got a lot of noise, big 3rd down.
We'll see what the play call is here. They'll roll to the right, the pressure's coming. He throws, and it's just over the head of Schlesinger.
If you're got to go for it. This is the game.
Oh yeah, this is the game. Lexington trying to get their away crowd hyped. And if you're Winchester, this is it.
This is the game right here. At this point, the game on the line. You go to you got to trust your best player. It's got to be to Ben Wilson.
I mean, all 3 plays have been blitzes from Lexington. You got to anticipate the blitz once more.
Anticipate the blitz. It's got to be to Schlesinger or Wilson, whichever one you can get squared up.
They have an empty backfield. It's interesting, and I wouldn't be surprised if they called a timeout here just to figure out the play call. Don't think they will, and this is the game here. Lowenstein in the backfield. 3 receivers on his right, 2 on his left. He's looking for the screen, and the
dropped,
and that will do
that
it
throw
again.
is just behind Schlesinger.
It was
behind Wilson.
And Lexington will win the game against Winchester by a score of 7-6.
Unbelievable. Your only hope is that somehow, some way, another penalty or an unconceivable turnover happens.
Miracle
But miracle in the Meadowlands. But realistically, that was the game.
Any student section for Winchester that was still there
they're leaving now. They know it too.
That's disastrous. That play call was questionable.
I think the play call was fine. The play was there. Lowenstein just was a few inches off. It just couldn't work out.
I mean, they even tried to set up the screen.
They're going victory formation here.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Well, now both teams have 1 win on the season.
I mean, it was a close game.
That was hard fought.
And you go back just to the first half thinking about that missed field goal. That was just barely missed. What could have been?
That field goal, all the drop turnovers. Winchester had a very good opportunity with this game. They had a lot of chances.
And with that, Winchester's now going to drop to 1-3 on the season on a 3-game losing streak.
And that's something you have to anticipate if you're Winchester. You're going against a winless team. They're going to need a lot to go their way, and you allowed that. So I think Winchester, there's a lot of good things you did out here tonight, but you got a lot of reevaluation to do here.
Yeah. Actually, they might be.
Oh, hang on.
What happened?
Sue's got it. He's keeping it.
Are they trying to go for the first down or something?
Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing.
They're running out the clock a little, so that'll bring up 3rd down. And knowing the shot clock, they might get a punt return.
You might.
They might.
You might. That's their only chance. And if it's not a punt return, it's a Hail Mary.
I swear if that goes their way.
Actually, that's, again, you Hail Mary with your quarterbacks and with the amount of distance you'd have to cover. Doesn't make a lot of sense.
I think they still have a timeout, right?
I think they do have.
So if they stop them here and call the timeout, then they get a return.
that could get interesting.
You'd hope.
Here's all right.
They're just gonna try to trying to run the clock out. But is he gonna call a timeout, or is there no timeouts left? And that'll be the game.
That's the game.
And Lexington finishes the game with the victory, 7-6 over the Winchester Red and Black. That does it here from the Knowlton Turf. My name is Nikhil Karthikeyan, alongside Andrew Termini and the rest of our crew. We bid you good night. Have a great rest of your week.
WinCam will see you again on Thanksgiving for the Thanksgiving game against Woburn. I want to thank our tech crew, Noah and Kayla, for doing an outstanding job with the score and camera. Everyone have a great night and stay safe.